T.I.'s son, King. King Harris has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected to his actions. Put up the picture for Mass. I actually feel I feel for T.I. and Tiny, parents who are doing the absolute best they can. T.I. said this would happen if he continued to go down this road. T.I. is a dutiful father, has attempted to correct his son, sometimes in ways that got controversy created due to it. But his message was clear. T.I., father, has worked his ass off to get out the street so that his son did not have to repeat the same mistakes or be in the same atmosphere that he did. King Harris, son of T.I., and Tiny Harris has gotten arrested for failure to appear in court since last year. The 20-year-old has been in the headlines more frequently for major incidents like the explosive and physical altercation he had with his parents, T.I. and Tiny. This was at a Falcons game earlier this month. His parents threw him a baby shower to celebrate he's about to become a father for the first time. They're supportive. Let me give you background on some of the legal issues. WSB-TV reported that King, born Clifford King Joseph Harris III, was pulling out of a gas station in the BMW on Monday, but nearly hit an officer's vehicle, prompting the officer to pull him over. While speaking with King, the officer not only smelled marijuana, but also noticed a gun on his hip, according to the report. Upon running his information, the officer noticed that King had a warrant out for his arrest in Pickens County for failure to appear in court over previous vehicle violations, the report stated. Now, let me be very clear. Georgia has basically a constitutional right to carry law, where you have a right to have a handgun, and the display of the handgun, while not required anymore in Georgia, is still a very safe thing to do. So if he has a gun, a firearm, you put it in plain view. That used to be the way we did it by law until the law changed. I informed Mr. Harris that I would need to speak with him outside and open the driver side door. The station cited the police report as saying, quote, Ms. Harris was cooperative, and I removed the firearm from his hip with no issue. I then had Mr. Harris step out of the vehicle, and I detained him by placing handcuffs on him. I escorted Mr. Harris to my patrol vehicle, conducted a pat down, and placed him into the rear of my vehicle. Two other individuals who were in the vehicle with King were charged with less than an ounce of possession of marijuana while he was taken to the DeKalb County Jail. His warrant stems from an incident that took place August 2022, where he was charged with speeding, knowingly driving a motor vehicle on a suspended license, and driving under the influence of drugs. According to Fox 5 News, the arraignment notice was returned in September 2024, which usually means the defendant was not notified about their scheduled arraignment, and a bench warrant was issued. On the day following the arrest, he was released to Pickens County, and the bench warrant was recalled, local reports explain. Let me give you some reaction from fans. So fans reacted with some with disappointment about King's behavior. In the Hollywood Unlocked comment section about the incident, one person said, quote, he wanted to be a thug so bad, shaking my head. Someone else said, this type of life he wants. His dad continuously tries to school him, and he continuously wants to play the ghetto hood ninja. A third person suggested that King's father would probably not intervene to help King. She said, Tip, going to let him sit in there too. T.I.'s efforts to help his son, the Break 'em Off rapper was on Instagram Live at the time when he said, if he keep this ish up, he's going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'll be able to do about it, he said, because I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's going to turn out. He said this previously during a post. T.I. also said that he's tried to discipline his son while raising him, but now it's up to King. Quote, he done got all the whoopings and punishment, T.I. said. Did everything as a child you could do to him, so now you're going to have to go through it and get through it, and ain't nothing that me and mama or nobody else going to be able to say about it. The King of the South even chastised King on a viral video of the young rapper waving a gun during a music video shoot with Bootsy's son that surfaced last month. King defended himself, stating that it wasn't illegal to have a gun, which is true, to which his father said, quote, well, in the manner in which you portraying this lifestyle, this just don't look legitimate, sir. T.I. has had his own dealing with the law, with the lawsuit, including arrest for drug and weapons convictions, and even served some time in prison himself. He speaks from a place of knowledge. So it's no surprise he's trying to derail his son to make better choices than he did at that age. Obviously, parenting can become very complex. T.I., myself, and a few others participated in a TED Talk via Morris Brown College a few months ago. And in that conversation, he had more of an interview style TED Talk. The first question to him was about his lifestyle and guns and drugs. And his response was, ma'am, you're talking about things I did when I was a teenager. I'm an adult today. And as an adult, T.I. owns a significant amount of commercial and real estate property in Atlanta metropolitan area. He's a respected businessman in the industry of music. And his reality show was one of the most wholesome reality shows I've ever seen. It was kind of Bill Cosby-ish. And it was a dynamic that I thought provided some balance to the reality shows in general. And when I say Bill Cosby, I'm referring to the show and not the man. All right. So the dynamics here are interesting, but I can't judge how the parenting has gone, because everything that we've seen has been stuff that many of us would have said or similar if we saw our children do this. But I will say this. A lot of what's happening is because it's in the public. Like most children don't have to do this in the public. They don't have the public looking at them while they're making all of their mistakes. And so to that degree, I believe there should be an element of grace to young people who commit mistakes in front of the world. All right, Mr. Mayor, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think a lot of the time people, I've seen some of the trolls online want to say, well, T.I. used to live this lifestyle, or he rapped about it. Nobody would say this if Clint Eastwood son was in the situation, right? Like he
No.
didn't act about it. So I think there, that's a double-edged sword there. I also believe, like you said, that kids deserve grace. And we still got to remember that this is a young man. And at times he's absolutely belligerent, but which child, which teenager, or which young 20 is it? And I mean,
Yeah.
us to pretend that we didn't have our issues is unbelievable to me. I do feel sad for the family that they got to go through this, and I think T.I. is right. Like sometimes if you walk down this path, that route has one exit, and it is that horrible cold place. And I hope this kid get it together real quick and real soon.
Sometimes I get calls from parents or grandparents who will say, Doc, I need you to mentor my kid, right? And in our first conversation, I always let them know it is required that they contact me. They have to at least provide the first step so that the introduction can be made properly. I need to be invited into that space. And spiraling out of control is a thing that young people experience, but rock bottom is not a bad place to be. When you're spiraling out of control, at least you know the spiral has ended. You can go up from here.